Well, hello! I'd like to welcome you to another exciting episode of Pens in Use. This is the show where I talk about the pens and inks that I've been using all week, give you an overview and a little bit of usage notes and sometimes some surprises. But with parent-teacher conferences this week and a lot of other things going on because I'm super busy, not going to be a lot of surprises this week, but I do have a treat for you at the end. So, let's dive into it. If videos like this interest you, where I talk about fountain pens both new and old and at all price points, I would invite you to subscribe. And hey, would you like to comment on any of the pens I have here? Perhaps you'd like to comment on some of the Lamys towards the end. What do I mean? Well, just wait. So, let's dive into it. So, this week, we will be looking at the Visconti Homo Sapiens, the Aurora 88, modern of course. I shouldn't say of course, I like the vintage one a lot. If you're watching this channel, you know that. PenBBS 355 with not a very nice ink. We'll talk about that a bit. Pilot Custom 823. I may have news regarding this pen. Kaweco V14S. Has been my daily writer for the last, what, 1 or 2 weeks? I forget now. My Visconti Mirage. Waterman's Homo Sapiens. Ooh, the lighting is actually picking out that finish very well. Whatever I did to readjust the angles, I like that. Pen you have not seen in years. Monteverde Regatta Sport. This is a pen I've had in my pile to sell that I've never gotten around to selling. Probably couldn't sell because it is worn. Lamy 27E, a vintage Lamy, ancestor of the Lamy 2000. And a Lamy 99/36, also vintage. So those are the pens that I've been using this week. Let's look how they write and get some stories. As always, I'll be using my Bomo art journal. And as my assistant this week, whoops, I'll be using a binder clip to hold the pages open. Somebody suggested that over a month ago. I finally grabbed one. And we'll try it out. We'll see how it works. So let's see how these guys write. So my first pen this week is the Visconti Homo Sapiens, which is made out of lava from Mount Etna. Has a Visconti written on the side. Guess it's enameled. Neat texture. Homo Sapiens. Ponte del Vecchio Bridge. I solved my pen problem using a little bit of super glue. Blind cap thingy. Uncap it. Of course, it has a hook mechanism for holding the cap in place. And I just recently learned that this is a Bach nib, which was interesting. This is, of course, a palladium nib. It's the only... Not palladium, is it? No, I do mean palladium. Sorry. Yes, it's a palladium nib made by Bach, apparently. Visconti. And it's a medium. Kind of a wet writing nib, so, as much as I might be curious about some other sizes, this seems to work for me. And this ink is very slow to dry, but I think it's a beautiful ink. This is Noodler's Black Swan. In English Rose. It has a very nice brownish red color, and then it shades to an almost black. But sometimes you do have to be a little patient while the thing dries. But what an ink it is. One of my favorites. My next pen also comes from Italy. This is an Aurora 88. This has, oops. There we go, Aurora. And then, oh, I thought there was a number back there. I'm wrong. But while I'm back here, I might as well point this out. I feel like I must have dropped it at some point. I don't remember it, but it may be one of those things that didn't stick in my memory. But it's developed a crack on the cap. I've decided to leave it be for now. We'll see what happens. Some of that's dust. It's not the crack spreading. There, now I wiped the dust off. But, you know, definitely has a crack. I thought, I'll leave it be. We'll see what happens. There's an inner cap to protect the seal. It has not been drying out, so it seems to be fine. Oops, I do have a little piece of fuzz on the nib, though. Take that off before you see it. This is a flex nib. This was my big surprise last year. And I like it a lot. Still. And by the way, that Visconti stuff is still not dry. This is another very unique color. This is Rohrer and Klingner, which they actually make some very nice colors. Don't count them short. Rohrer and Klingner Alt Gold-grün. Although I have not noticed it myself, I'm told that that can have kind of a goldish shade, or not shade, sheen on the right paper. I haven't seen it in any of the pens I've tried it in, but I still really like the color, so oh well. Let's go to the other end of the ink spectrum. Not happy with this ink. But I like the pen a lot. This is a PenBBS. This was my first impressions this week. PenBBS 355. One of the features I forgot to mention and should have, because I did know about it, was this double chamber. It's sealed off by this piston, or this, whatever this is, this thingy, the rod. So there's a second piston here so you can fly with it without trouble. Another thing that I did not do, which I did not know about, apparently if you pull this piston back far enough, it snaps into place back here, and I did not do that, which is why during my first impression I struggled so much with it. But I hate this ink. In fact, after this video's over, I'm going upstairs and I'm changing it out for something fun. So this is a PenBBS Fine. I was told by a commenter that this stylized F means it's a regular fine, not their upturned F. Or not their upturned nib. Wow, where'd that come from? Oh, and the model number. Sorry, I forgot that. 355, because I'll look at this years from now and be like, what pen was that? The ink, which you will probably never see again on this channel. It's a Pastelier L'Artisan. See, I care so little about it, I didn't even bother learning how to pronounce it. You know, it's a scented ink. I don't really care about scented inks a whole lot. There's one or two that are really cool. Mostly the scents are disappointing. But this one looks watery and washed out, and it soaks through on just about every paper I've used it, including, except on this apparently. Interesting. But including Tomoe River paper. Now, I really thought I would like this brand because it's made by the same people that I buy my Califolio ink from. Same company makes both inks. And no, I hate it. So, won't be buying any more of that color. I have a couple others that I'm going to try from them, but yeah, bad first impression. Bad. Now, one thing I've been thinking about lately is, you know, with the issues with my Lamy 2000, it started me thinking about daily writing pens and inks again. And I read an interesting idea. Was it Neil Gaiman? anyway, a famous author that switches between inks for his writing so he can track, oh, I wrote this much yesterday, this much the day before, and kind of have a visual of how much he writes each day. And I liked the idea. So I have, well, this pen is so far the only one, but, and my Nikaya. But I'm just going to experiment with that idea, taking a couple different pens as my daily writer pens. So this is a Pilot Custom 823. I'm not going to unscrew the blind cap, even though you normally would, because this is just going to be a short bit of writing. But I was evaluating the ink in it as a possible daily writer. I will tell you, I love the color. The ink was a fail. This ink bleeds and feathers more than I'd like, which is kind of a thing with this particular brand of ink. It does tend to feather and spread more than other inks. This is Atramentis, Aubergine, and this is a nice color. Has a little bit of shading. It's purple. It's businesslike. I really like eggplants, and I grow them every year in my garden. But yeah, not so impressed by the ink, at least as a daily writer ink. This, I think, sad to say, I think I may have to stick with this ink in my, fun pens for writing on Tomoe River paper because it does not behave the best on cheaper paper. Although, again, seems to like Bomo Art Journal paper. But look through everything I wrote today, because that was my daily writer pen today, and yeah, not impressive. What has been my daily writer since all the issues with the Lamy 2000 has been my Kaweco V14S. I will have a Lamy 2000 update for you. Part of it comes from a viewer suggestion, but I will have that for you next week because I need time to make sure. But this is an amazing, awesome, wonderful pen that I think if I didn't like the Lamy 2000 so well, I think I could happily make this my daily writer. Or, not the modern Aurora 88, but my vintage Aurora 88. Love that one too. And so I think branching out in my colors may actually be a good thing, because it'll force me to really think about, or, to really use some of these pens that I don't use enough as daily writers. This is so not a flex nip, but I don't want it to be because that's not its role. It does daily writing, and it does it very extremely well. My next pen, Visconti Mirage. Some of the design choices like this are a little goofy looking, but overall, I think the color's nice. I always really like the Visconti Van Gogh sunflowers. I like the piece of artwork as well, but I didn't buy the pen because I didn't like the metal grip section. This one has a resin section and a magnetic cap, which is fun. So I'm digging that. I'm very happy with this pen. Extremely happy with this pen. People have warned me off of Visconti. If you watch the reviews, a lot of reviewers aren't super thrilled with Visconti. But I am so happy I bought this pen. I don't regret spending the money at all. The ink in it is a Private Reserve, which is a nice company that had some trouble and has really turned around. This is a great color. And it isn't as goofy as this Pastelier L'Artisan. They don't have, a lot of the Private Reserve colors don't have the shading like some brands do, but who cares? There's more to ink than just shading. Then I have my Waterman Carène, which is a wonderful pen. metal pen. I usually don't like metal pens. I just said something nasty about metal grips. This has a plastic grip. I'm a little curious, you know, what the fine would be like. I'm really curious what the broad would be like. What this pen used. Just a very nice writer. I don't remember if this was in my top 10 of the year this time, but if it wasn't, it was close. Something amazing definitely would have beaten it out. The ink in it is another pretty amazing color, Noodler's Antietam. Often I like the Noodler's Antietam and the Visconti Homo Sapiens, but this week whenever I filled it, I went a different route, and very happy. I'm loving how the Visconti is writing with that Noodler's Black Swan and English Rose, and that's a nice color match, I think, although the lighting on my set doesn't pick that up the best. Now, let's dive into something interesting. You haven't seen this pen in years because I fell out of love with it. It is a Monteverde Regatta Sport. I don't even know if they still sell this color. I haven't bought a Monteverde pen in a long time. I'm just not super thrilled by them. It is showing its age. This pen has been around, and that's the other thing with Visconti, or I'm sorry, with Monteverde, is I found that their finishes don't last the best. I gave one to somebody, the nib, or the grip section, just all the black finish just chipped off of it very quickly. Not impressed. What I did is I purchased recently, because I didn't want to buy another Monteverde pen, sorry. I purchased a Conklin, which is related to Monteverde, flex nib. A lot cheaper than buying a pen because they knew it would fit in this pen. Or heck, maybe I'll fit it into the Stipula. T-flex! So anyway, this is a Monteverde. Oh, I didn't shake up the ink. This is a sparkly ink. And it's got a lot of sparkles in it. And I like the, if I'm going to get a sparkly ink, I think I like the Girbon a lot better. But at the same time, this is some unique coloration that I have not found from Girbon. So Monteverde Regatta Sport. Flex. The ink is Atramentis. Let's see if I can spell this right. Or even pronounce it. Who knows? Heliogen. Green. Copper. The little sparkles are settling in the feed. This ink is going to be a bit of work to clean out of this pen. But since I haven't written with this pen in a while, I guess that's okay. What do I think of the flex nib? It flexes. It seems to stop writing overly quickly. But, in fairness, perhaps this wasn't the best ink to give it a first test on. So I'll be testing it more with some other better behaved inks and see if I can come up with a revised opinion. I'll just give you a quick close-up here, though. I love that copperiness mixed with the green. That's cool. All right, 2 more pens. My review this week, the Lamy 27E with an oblique broad nib in it. And the ink in it is Noodler's Apache Sunset. a very nice shading ink. And I was writing with this, I think last week, and I made the remark of, I wonder how that repairs to Diamine Autumn Oak. Well, you'll see this pen as next week's review, because the two reviews are kind of a set. This is the Lamy 99/36. Also with an oblique nib. But this is an oblique fine, which you don't find very often. The ink is Diamine Autumn Oak. I think the Autumn Oak has a slightly more greenish cast. Let's make a swatch. Which would make sense if it's inspired by a tree. The Apache Sunset is, you know, more orange. Do I have a preference? Can I say this without having Mr. Tardif come take back all my Noodler stuff? The Apache Sunset can be a lot slower to dry, especially if it's been in the pen for a while. The Diamine Autumn Oak seems much better behaved. They both shade very well. They are different colors. As far as color, I don't know if I have a preference. I don't know that one does shade particularly better than the other. They're two different colors. I mean, what am I going to say? So, those are the pens and inks that I have in use this week. I thought it would be interesting to compare with the Lamy pens, the two oranges, the Autumn Oak and Apache Sunset. Both are shading inks. Both are very nice inks. And this week I reviewed the 27E. Next week I'll be reviewing the 99. And next week I'll have some comments on the Lamy 2000. It may be back. We'll see. Once I'm sure, then you will know. But I'm enjoying this experience writing with some different colors as my daily writer ink. That's definitely been eye-opening and interesting. So, yeah, I hope this was interesting. And if videos like this interest you, where I talk about fountain pens both new and old and at all price points, I would invite you to subscribe. And hey, it's cold here. Tomorrow we're looking at highs of -3. So that'll be fun walking to work. And Thursday's going to be colder yet. So, yeah, if you'd like to comment on the fun weather, or you'd like to comment on Lamy or the orange inks that I've had, or you know, anything else, I've been babbling about a lot of topics tonight, and I'm not particularly organized, I would invite you to leave a comment down below. So as always, I thank you for watching. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.